up to Freedom Equipment Rentals, turn number 3. It's the 12, J. Michael Kelly, Graham Trucking. You got Jimmy Shane. Boy, that boat just is looking extremely fast on the water, heading into turn number 3. Jimmy Shane in the home street, the 6. Jimmy Shane comes into Buffalo Brothers turn number 4, and hello to our Buffalo Brothers friends up there, the best boat racing fans on the circuit. So JMK is going to slow down as he comes across the Bosch Thermador start-finish line. Jimmy Shane is backing off the throttle a bit too. I know it's early to be claiming lanes. On the outside, here comes Eccles, bright orange boat across the start-finish and onto the front stretch, and he'll lead the other drivers into Agri-Service turn number 1.
I wonder if we'll see the 7 cut here, because he's the one that's kind of hanging back right now behind the 3 other boats. And I see him cut across here.
I think it's a little early. He could, but I'm not sure what it would do because we're just now inside 3 minutes.
Well, he was looking.
He was looking, and, you know, as we always say, if you've got a real good maneuver to get lane 1, I'm not sure you want to use it in heat 1A. You may want to save that one for 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. This should be a very good heat on paper.
But he actually, I think he also saw that the 12 was too far along, that even if he had cut at that point, he was not going to beat the 12 back across. So he couldn't have claimed lane 1 anyway, so he thought that discretion was the better part of valor.
And just to mention to our fans, we're talking about cutting the race course, and that is a legal maneuver. You can cut from the back stretch to the front stretch at the west end of the race course. You can cut the course from the front stretch to the back stretch at the bottom end of the race course down toward the Blue Bridge.
So the boat's up at the top end of the course now, heading into the Freedom Equipment Rentals, turn number 3. You can see Graham
2 minutes.
Trucking on the inside with J. Michael Kelly, red boat. Then looks like lane number 2 is going to be Shane right now. On the outside, Eccles in the bright orange 440 bucket list. Then you've got Henderson back there in the 7, Boitano Holmes alongside the 11 with Jamie Nielsen. Reliable Diamond Tool presents J&D Hydraulics. So right now it's JMK in lane number 1 heading across the start-finish line down to the front stretch. Eccles is going to pull even with him. What's your time, Brad?
Well, right now it's 1:27, and I have an unofficial timing mark that says you do not want to be at this entrance buoy at 1:30. It's right now 1:20, so I think they're in pretty good shape. I don't expect anybody to move from right here, and if it stays this way, it's going to be Kelly in 1, Shane in 2. We'll see where, and there he goes.
He's cutting the course.
There he goes. I didn't think he was going to do it, but Bert said, I'm going to jump to the backstretch and get into lane 1. Watch the red boat coming over, Kevin.
Yeah, they're trying to get up there, and I don't know, the overlap could be an issue. It looks like he just made it.
He got there. He got plenty of time. That time he knew. He took the back front stretch a little bit faster, I believe, and knew at that point he could cut across, and he does look like he has claimed lane 1, which moves Kelly out to 2, Shane out to 3, Eccles will be out in 4, and I believe Nilsson will be out in 5, who he's going to have to back off here so he can make sure he's not too early with that 5 after the clock that he needs to run.
30 seconds, Mike.
30 seconds to the start of Heat 1A, presented by CO Energy on News Radio 610 KONA, 610KONA.com, and all along the shoreline here of Columbia Park on the PA system. Glad you're along for the ride. This should be a dandy. So Henderson in lane number 1, Shane in lane number 2. Now check that. It's going to be J. Michael Kelly in lane number 2. Now we see Shane in lane number 3, Eccles in 4, and on the outside it'll be Nielsen in the 11. 2, 1. It's a clean start, and it's going to be Jimmy Shane that's going to take the lead away from J. Michael Kelly coming down the front stretch. Looks like he's not really hitting it too hard just yet. They're staying neck to neck down the front stretch.
Let's get this Columbia, Hassel Columbia Cup starting. Shane down there first. But he's on lane 3, Kevin.
And Kelly's going to beat him out of the turn, up a little bit. But now we get to the back stretch where speed will be Shane's weapon, and he has a lot of it.
Bert Henderson lost a lot of boat speed heading through Agri-Service turn 1 and Tire Factory turn number 2. And he is not a factor right now. It's a 2-boat race. Jimmy Shane on the outside, J. Michael Kelly on the inside of the Graham Trucking. So it's Home Street on the outside and Graham Trucking on the inside. Bert Henderson trying to reel him back in, but he's got a long way to go. And Dustin Eccles might have a chance actually to get Henderson coming into turn number 3, our Freedom Equipment Rentals turn number 3. Exit pin at turn number 4 for Buffalo Brothers. It's Jimmy Shane. And Shane, I just feel like he's holding back. He's really not pressing that hard right now as he comes across for lap number 1. the start-finish line. J. Michael Kelly is just inside the rooster tail. He's going to fall almost a rooster tail behind as they head to turn number 1.
Yeah, it's Jimmy Shane with about 3/4 of a rooster tail flying the boat coming down here. Remember, fans, we're running a Gold Cup format here, so we got 4-lap preliminary heats. This is
Kelly bouncing out of the water, having to back off a little bit, so Shane's going to have a rooster tail lead as they head down the back stretch. Kelly trying to reel him in on the inside. Here comes Henderson at a tire factory turn 2. Nielsen trying to reel it. He's bouncing through some rollers as he's trying to catch Eccles for 4th.
Yeah, watch that 5th place boat. Jamie Nielsen may have a chance to catch Eccles. Just when we thought Eccles might have that opportunity to get up and get into 3rd place and beat Henderson down that front stretch. Top end of the course. On the outside, Jimmy Shane in the home street with the lead. But a really nice turn this time for J. Michael Kelly, but he's going to be about a half a rooster tail behind at the exit pin of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Coming over the Bosch Thermador Appliance start-finish line. It's nearly a rooster tail lead now for Jimmy Shane after the completion of lap number 2. Ooh, big waves up in the top end of the course. Boat's getting loose. Look like Nielsen is going to go off the plane, and he lost power, and he may have gone through the wake of Eccles, or it could have been Henderson's wake. It was really rough.
It is rough out there right now. The boats are bouncing around Shane, though, looking really strong, keeping that rooster tail lead over Kelly as they head down the backstretch.
J. Michael Kelly, he's inside the rooster tail, but that beat by Jimmy Shane on the outside. He's got the momentum right now in a really smooth-looking ride. 3rd place is Henderson. 4th place is Eccles. Again, Nielsen dead in the water in Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Shouldn't be a factor. He tried to edge out towards the shoreline. Top end of the course. Inside the rooster tail now, it's J. Michael Kelly and the Graham Trucking in the 12 on the inside. On the outside, Shane in the home street, 6 off the exit pin of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4, and coming across the start-finish line here for Bosch Thermador Appliances. White flag is out, and it's a half a rooster tail lead now for Jimmy Shane coming down the front stretch in the home street.
Boy, and he's flying. A lot of air underneath it, but he's got a left side mirror that is full of red and black and silver. JMK is not going away, Kevin.
He is not, but he can't get within that rooster tail. So the good news for Kelly is he's able to keep this rooster tail leg. The bad news is he's not able to eat into it as Shane takes the lead down the backstretch.
Jimmy Shane with a full rooster tail lead now coming up the backstretch. Final lap, Heat 1A, brought to you by Con-El Oil, CO Energy. Up the backstretch, it's just over a rooster tail lead, and J. Michael Kelly's really going to have to nail this corner, and something's going to happen. If something were to happen to Jimmy Shane, he may not have the opportunity, but still, you've got the whole front stretch to the Bosch Thermador Appliance start-finish line that Jimmy Shane could pull away again. It is a close race, about a half a rooster tail lead now for Jimmy Shane in the home street. The 6 is going to take the checkered flag.
Eccles nearly caught a rollover here and went out.
He sure did. He dropped that right sponsor in a hole, and how he did not spin it out, I do not know.
It was great boat control, able to get under power and get back on it. So he'll end up finishing 4th with the 7 finishing in 3rd, and Bert Henderson.
Yeah, 2nd place, J. Michael Kelly. The 1st place will go to Jimmy Shane in the home street. 3rd place, Bert Henderson. And Dustin Eccles will hold on for 4th place, but there was some wild racing out there. It was unbelievable. CO Energy bringing you Heat 1A. So back at the pits, we'll have an opportunity to hear from our drivers. Now, the good news is the 11. Pasco or Kennewick, we need you out of the water. All swimmers back to the shore, please. Kevin. Oh, there he is.
And that 99.9 has the same paint scheme that Perkins used to drive in the 21 boat. But when we see the 99.9, I'm used to that black and red and white with the missed rocks. So it's a little bit, it's a boat that looks familiar, but the number has changed.
Yeah, it's the same race team, still Go Fast Turn Left Racing, so that's why it's got that same color scheme. But when they go to Seattle, they're going to have some more black and red on the boat, and will be that KISW rock, and so they're running with the 99.9 number. 3 minutes and 2 seconds. Jeff Bernard down here. He is on the inside in the Oberto. Just outside of him is Jimmy King driving the Griggs Presents Ace Hardware. Kevin, right in front of you.
They are, and Andrew Tate has hit the gas to try to catch them. Because right now it's the 1918 in lane 1. Jimmy King will be in lane 2, and Tate is going to have to try to win this out of lane 3 from the outside. So we'll see. There's lots of time left to maneuver and find your spot. But for right now, that Oberto boat, that beautiful white, green, and red boat on the inside.
At least for now.
225, Michael.
It's all subject to change. Jimmy King is heading up that top end of the course into Freedom Equipment Rentals, turn number 3. Let's see if everybody holds or if anybody cuts across. I don't see anybody cutting across now. So it will be King that will lead the drivers into Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. And he left plenty of room on the inside for both Tate
2 minutes
and Bernard. So across the Bosch Thermador Appliance start-finish line, Jimmy King will watch the other racers. Bernard in 1. You've got Tate in 2. Perkins on the outside. And he probably has a little question in his mind, at least, about that safety hatch, although it's been inspected on how it's going to hold up for him. Peabody's going to be setting up in lane 4. I don't know where Jimmy King's going to end up, guys.
He's going to have to cut the race course because he got down here about 1:40. We're now at 1:25. He's going to cut the course, but he's got to go up to the top end to do it.
Yeah, he got down here way out front of the pack, which means he'll likely be way outside as well as he tries to see what his boat has against some of the best boats on the H1 Unlimited circuit.
Yeah, so across the ESCO Electric infield, Jimmy King.
Watch King.
In the Griggs, onto the front stretch.
And it does look like it'll be the 1918 in 1, the 1 in 2, the 98 in 3, and the 99-9, at least for right now, in 4.
So Jimmy King's got to catch those boats coming up the back stretch. He's at full throttle in the 3.
Not cut the course.
50.
He is not cutting the course. He decided to go a different tack and essentially just run full bore the entire length.
Wow, what a place to watch.
Yeah, Bernard in lane number 1, Tate in lane number 2.
I'll tell you what, though, if he can keep this up, if he times this right, he will be the fastest boat at the start-finish line.
Where's he going to end up, Kevin?
Looks like 2.
He's zooming up, and he wants to take lane 2.
Lane 2 or 3, I think. I think he's in 3.
Yeah, he jumped over to lane 3, just outside of Tate.
15 seconds.
So Bernard on the inside in the Oberto. Oh, boy, the sun glints off that metallic paint. Tate in 2, King in 3.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark.
It's a clean start on the outside. Perkins with boat speed and momentum. Peabody's fallen back a little bit in the 98. But coming down the front stretch to Brad Luce.
And first of all, the start has been ruled legal. It's a good start. Tate down here first from lane 2, but he's got King right with him, and Bernard on the inside.
They're bouncing off the rough water. Can the 1918 catch on the inside of Tate? He has got a ton of boat speed.
Oh, Bernard had a great turn. Jeff Bernard had a fantastic turn in the 1918 Oberto Super Salami. Tate's pulling away on that back stretch. Jimmy King is holding with the pack, though. He's on the outside coming up that back stretch, and he's pretty much even right now with Bernard in the Oberto. Your race leader by a half a rooster tail now is the Delta Real Track, the 1 with Andrew Tate, heading into Freedom Equipment Rentals turn number 3 and over to Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Water looks pretty smooth, at least for right now, and it's Tate with the lead. And then that battle for second place is deck to deck. Now that we can see Jimmy King, he is dead even with Jeff Bernard in the Oberto as they come across the start-finish line. It's going to be Jimmy King edging Bernard for second place coming down the front stretch. Your race leader is Tate.
Tate, our defending Hapo Columbia Cup champion, going to get down here first with about a rooster tail on the field. And right now that second place is King. But watch Bernard on this short course, Kevin.
Oh, they are bouncing around out there, and King goes into the wash of the 1 and has to back out, but still a lot of power, and he has the lead down the backstretch over the 1918 for second.
Yeah, second place battle is a good one between King on the outside, Bernard on the inside. Bernard's going to have that short course around the top end of the course, and he'll have a chance to pull even with King again. But even though King went through that rough water, Kevin, he's doing extremely good heading up the backstretch.
I do not know how he kept that thing going with the pace that he did, but he essentially was just right through the rooster tail of the 1 and he came out of it somehow still ahead of the 1918.
Tate comes out of the exit pin of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. He's got the lead. Jimmy King is trying to challenge him down the front stretch. He's pulling up to that end of the rooster tail and trying to eat into the lead a little bit, but I don't know if he can get there. Bernard has fallen back, but holds on to third place right now. Watch Jimmy King in Agri-Service turn number 1.
Yeah, he's definitely made up some ground on Andrew Tate. Andrew knows he's there. Bernard has fallen off the pace after taking a big hop at the top of the race course. Kevin.
Yeah, Tate has sort of settled that boat a little bit. Not quite as rough going through Tire Factory turn 2. Jimmy King trying to use all that piston power down the backstretch to see if he can catch the one.
Yeah, Tate has started to pull away. Coming down the backstretch, he's got that full rooster tail lead over Jimmy King, but what a great performance by the Turbinator. Great job by Jimmy King, even through that rough water. Watch him come into turn number 3. Sun has gone behind a cloud, kind of a little bit darker, not as brilliant outside on the Columbia River course right now. Exit pin of that turn number 4. It's going to be Tate with the lead by the full rooster tail. Jimmy King on the outside just comes clear of that exit pin, and they'll come across the Bosch Thermador appliance start-finish line. And it's a rooster tail lead now for Tate. King's trying to get to him, but he just can't get there.
Boy, Andrew Tate got a lot of air underneath that boat. Still got the full rooster tail. I actually thought Jimmy King would have let him go by now. But Kevin, he is still charging on the outside.
Oh, boy, the 3, the power of the 3. Still showing. Tate, though, with a short way around the course, able to get that lead back to a rooster tail. But King trying to catch him out of the backstretch.
Benefit of the inside lane for Andrew Tate. And is he holding back a little, maybe, Kevin?
You know, this last couple times down here, it has definitely been a little more on the water than he was the first 2 laps. So I'm wondering if he's trying to settle it down to deal with this rough water.
All right, white flag is out. Checkered flag is waiting. The boat drivers right now to complete the final lap of Heat 1B. Brought to you by Arizona Mobile. And it's going to be Andrew Tate in the 1. Delta Real Track just onto the front stretch now to the Bosch Thermador appliance to start-finish line. He's got a little air underneath that boat as it comes across and takes the checkered flag. Jimmy King, what a great run in the Turbinator for second place. Third place out on the course will be the beautiful 1918 Oberto Super Salami with Jeff Bernard. Brian Perkins will end up in 4th. And a nice job also out on the course for Corey Peabody in the 98, who's just into turn number 4 now at the exit pin. But Perkins, questions answered. That crew did a great job to make sure that that hatch was, well, retooled so that it would fit. That was not an easy job.
No, it wasn't. And
So again, Heat 2.
Lead him across the line.
he's going to get down here first.
Look at Andrew Tate flying.
Corey Peabody in the 98 and the 1918 with Jeff Bernard. So that would leave in Heat 2B from El Pueblo Market. The 1 with Andrew Tate. The 3 with Jimmy King. Bert Henderson in the 7. Jamie Nielsen in the 11. And Dustin Eccles in the 440.
Hey, Michael.
Yes, Glenn.
Just to let you know, we are within 5 of the 5. We've got at least 4 boats in the water, so we're getting closer and closer to that first, second heat.
All right. Have you had a chance to see it all, the GP12?
No, I have not. I have not had a chance to get my eyes on it. I was up in the tower asking people's opinion, but nobody's really seen anything.
I think that 12, they're just kind of hanging out by the Blue Bridge. They might let this heat go by before they try to get that boat back to the dock. Or they might wait at least for the boats to get away from the dock, because they are practically over at the Blue Bridge at this point. They're taking this nice and slow to get this 12 boat in.
Let me see if I can get down to the unlimited docks and tell you what I see.
So Glenn's hustling down there to see, and that's where they'll come in probably towards the end of the docks that they have at the Lamson Pits farthest to the east. Wind conditions seem to have calmed at least here on the Kennewick side, Kevin. I don't know what you can tell us from over on the Pasco shoreline.
It's definitely a little bit calmer. The water looks a little less rough, but I look over at that flag on the Blue Bridge, and it is still out proud. So I think it is a little better, but it isn't calmed down entirely yet.
So, just a reminder that all boat race fans that may be cooling off in the river need to get up on the shoreline. Everybody out of the river as we gear up for our countdown to the H1 Unlimited's Heat 2A from El Pueblo Market. So anybody in the river need to get up out of the water. All swimmers out of the water as we get ready for Heat 2A and Heat 2B to wrap up the day's racing action. And also the other thing we need to find out is if there will be a rerun of Heat 2 for the Grand Prix boats after the fire occurred and Greg Hopp jumped out of his boat. That's what we understand. And Brad Luce down to the pits. I don't know if you heard that, but we did hear that Greg jumped out of the boat. That's why the cockpit was open when we trained our eyes back over to the top end of the course and saw the fire.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear what ended up happening there. But yeah, they also had that weird thing where they were only running 3 of the 5 boats. So do they do a 5-boat heat race tomorrow, or do they try to go back to the or 4-boat heat race? I can't imagine the 12, but we'll see.
No, you know where you're right, Kevin. That damage underneath that cowling around the engine compartment, I'm sure will probably take them out of the race. But you never know, because the crews, they can spend all night getting her put back together if there's any hope. Points recap coming up at the conclusion of our broadcast just before the Hydro Race wrap-up show. Thanks to Perfection Miller Paint. They have over 130 years experience in making paint for the Northwest with everyday value, pricing, and quality. Made here for here. It's Perfection Miller Paint. 88 degrees. Winds are at 13 miles per hour out of the southwest at the Pasco Tri-Cities Airport. Our high expected today at 89, just 81 degrees for tomorrow.
And the 12 is on the water.
Our weather updates from Anderson Dental. Nearly 2 decades in South Kennewick, creating and saving smiles. They're online at KennewickSmiles.com. All right, boat race fans are smiling now because we are back to racing action. The Graham Trucking, the 12, is heading up the backstretch with J. Michael Kelly.
Yep, there goes the 6 on the backstretch, and 98 also on the backstretch. The Alberto, the 1918, also making its way onto the course. And then our final boat is at the 99.9, also out on the water. So 5 boats in, 5 boats on the water. Well, full field.
And how about Brian Perkins' crew? One of the groups that were really scrambling to get that escape hatch fashioned so it would actually fit after they lost the hatch yesterday in the river. All right, out of turn number 4, onto the front stretch, and the parade lap for Graham Trucking, the 12, with J. Michael Kelly. Coming across the Bosch Thermador flying start finish line now. Then you've got Jimmy Shane in the 6th, the home street, up on the front stretch and across start finish now. American Dream, that's a beautiful boat, the 98 Graham Trucking, their second entry here with Corey Peabody along the start finish line now. The Alberto 1918, Jeff Bernard on the inside, on the outside Brian Perkins.
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Well, there you are, Brad.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening. We had a little delay getting the timing here, and my watch is off, but it's off by a square minute, so I think I can handle this.
It's all about the countdown.
High-end math up here.
By the way, they've actually taken Hopp's boat all the other side of the Blue Bridge to keep it out of the way of the hydros.
Okay, so they'll bring it back to the docks for extrication a little bit later.
Yep. 2:30. 2:30 to the start.
Well, we got a group of 2 and a group of 3 out there with Kelly and Shane up front. The 1918, the 98, and the 99.9, all kind of their own group back there.
And it makes you wonder what the drivers are, what's going through their mind right now. Of course, J. Michael Kelly's thinking, well, I got lane 1.
Yeah. But that won't stop him from cutting the course somewhere.
Or somebody. Oh, here we go. Cutting across the Alberto. Super Salami, Jeff Bernard. And Bernard's going to slide into lane number 1 on the front stretch.
2 minutes.
So that may push out JMK. Let's see what Jimmy Shane does coming down the front stretch. Oh, a little bit of a washdown. He had to go through the wake and a little bit of the rooster tail. J. Michael Kelly, Jimmy Shane was out in front of him.
But I wonder if JMK is going nice and slow right now because he has a plan to cut here. But that might, I don't know if it's too early, though. That's the question. Is it too early to cut? Because he is way off.
130. I don't like being down here at 130, and I got a couple of them.
That's early.
There goes Mike.
There goes J-Mike. He took almost the entire...
He's going to be early.
Yeah, that may not be the best of moves to cut across the ESCO Electric infield at this point. Yeah, the other boats are hitting it now.
Yeah, he's got to have to keep an eye on that strobe light up top. If it starts blinking, he's under 80 miles an hour. But they're all now together.
1 minute. 1 minute.
1 minute to start. Heat 2B, El Pueblo Market. And I guess it will be J. Michael Kelly in lane number 1. It looks like Jimmy Shane will be in lane number 2. Then the Alberto, Jeff Bernard in lane number 3, or it might be Bernard in 2 and Shane in 3. We'll wait until they come around the top end of the course to set that as they start to go into Freedom Equipment Rental turn number 3 and over to Buffalo Brothers turn number 4.
Michael, 30 seconds, and you got a warning on the 1918. Speed warning.
All right, so the Alberto needs to pick up the pace a little bit, and it's all about that timing to the Bosch Thermador appliance start-finish line.
I'd be sure.
J. Michael
15.
Kelly in lane 1, Shane in lane number 2, Bernard in 3. Then you've got, let's see, Peabody in lane 4, and lane 5 is Brian Perkins.
3, 2, 1. Mark.
So the leader coming on the outside is going to be Perkins on the inside. Extremely slow start for both of the inside boats. And it's kind of strange that Jimmy Shane is holding back coming down that front stretch a little bit. J. Michael Kelly on the inside.
Actually, Shane got down here first, but he only had about a boat length on Kelly on the inside. Kevin.
Yeah, they got it in as Kelly and Shane right there, neck to neck on the inside. The Alberts are out in lane 3 going fine. Perkins on the outside, lane 5 and 4th.
JMK in lane number 1. He's on the inside, and he's about 2 boat lengths behind Jimmy Shane, heading up the back stretch. Lap number 1, El Pueblo Markets Heat 2A. 4 laps in this prelim heat. The Alberto with Bernard has fallen back a rooster tail behind the 2 boats that are out in front. Let's see what Jimmy Shane does in turn number 4. A beautiful turn for Jimmy Shane. He's actually on the outside of J. Michael Kelly, and he's going to take the lead in the 6th. The Home Street Bank coming across the start-finish line now. No speeds given. 3rd place is Jeff Bernard. Your 2nd place boat is inside the rooster tail now and trying to gain on Jimmy Shane. That's J. Michael Kelly coming into Agri-Service turn number 1.
Yeah, he's staying pretty tight with him. He's back about 4 boat lengths. Kevin, you got a better view.
Absolutely, and Shane is able to keep the lead, but Kelly got up to the back cowling, and now he's about a half a rooster tail back as Shane goes up the back stretch.
J. Michael Kelly got some air coming out of the exit pin of Tire Factory turn number 2. He's coming up the back stretch, and he's a half a rooster tail behind Jimmy Shane now. Back another almost 2 rooster tails is Jeff Bernard. 3rd place, Brian Perkins.
The 3rd place should be Bernard.
Correct, Bernard in 3rd. 4th place would be Brian Perkins, and 5th out there is the Graham Trucking American Dream with Corey Peabody, just coming up the back stretch.
Who's hitting a lot of rough water following these guys around.
There is plenty of rough water to go around. Exit pin turn number 4. And onto the front stretch, Jimmy Shane. And it's still that half a rooster tail lead for Jimmy Shane over J. Michael Kelly in the Graham Trucking. 3rd place, Bernard across the start-finish line now. He's 2 rooster tails back.
Yeah, coming down here again, Shane has opened up some water. Guys, the start was good. The start was legal. Everybody's on the right lap, but it's still Shane by about 3/4 of a rooster tail, Kevin.
And he's given the room to Kelly, but he can't make up the space, can the 12. So it looks like Shane's going to keep that rooster tail, then expand it as he exits turn 2, going down the back stretch.
So just over a rooster tail lead now for Jimmy Shane. Coming up the back stretch into Freedom Equipment Rentals turn number 3 and Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. And J. Michael Kelly on the inside, but he has not enough under the cowling to catch up with Jimmy Shane in the home street. Back another 2 rooster tails is Bernard in 3rd in the Alberto Super Salami. Perkins is on the back stretch now, about midway point, and then just coming out of turn number 2 and up the back stretch, Corey Peabody's now at the midpoint of that back stretch. So they're all spread out across the race course right now, and now over a 2 rooster tail lead for Jimmy Shane heading into Agri-Service turn number 1.
Shane's coming down here, got the big lead. I think J. Michael Kelly has said, all right, I'll give you this one. I ran you hard for a couple. Kevin, bring him through the lower corner last time.
Shane looks so smooth on the water. What I'm trying to keep an eye on, though, is that 12 giving up a little too much. The 1918 might be gaining a little bit on Kelly, but Bernard going out way wide. So it'll be Shane, Kelly, Bernard, 1, 2, 3.
White flag is out. Heat 2A brought to you by Pueblo Market. Jimmy Shane in the 6th, the home street. Flexing muscle and showing that they have some winning to do here on the Columbia River course. Last year, it didn't go their way. This year, it's been a pretty good start so far. At the exit pit, Buffalo Brothers turn number 4 comes out a little bit wide. Good photo op for the Buffalo Brothers fans, and walks the sponson. Catch a little air coming across the Bosch Thermador Appliance start-finish line for the checkered flag in Heat 2A. Second place, J. Michael Kelly in the 12, the Graham Trucking. Third place boat will be the 1918 Oberto, just onto the front stretch, and a good run, solid run by Jeff Bernard. Brian Perkins is just coming out of turn number 4 onto the front stretch. And he'll end up taking 4th place, and our 5th place boat, Corey Peabody, in the 98 Graham Trucking, just at the exit pit now. Buffalo Brothers turn number 4, and he'll come across the Bosch Thermador Appliance start-finish line now for that 5th place finish. Checking out some of the lap speeds, didn't seem to be rivaling the earlier heat. Looks like the top speed is 149 miles per hour. That was by Jimmy Shane in lap number 3. No, it would have been lap.
Performing amazing, and very happy to be in that type of equipment where I can be out in lane 2 or 3 and have the speed to be able to keep up with Mike on the inside there. And we just need to keep putting ourselves in a good position, and if we keep doing that and make good starts, Miss Home Street's going to perform very well every heat.
Talk to us about you and J. Michael Kelly. You guys have been pushing each other really well so far.
It's such a competitive field here. I mean, anybody that's going to be out there in any heat is going to be racing for the win. I think there's probably the highest quantity of boats that we had all season, but also the highest quality of boats that we've had here for H1. And it's going to show when the final heat rolls around, and 6 boats are going to be tail to tail to tail to tail, all side by side, come down that start-finish line. It's going to be anybody's race.
So for you, 2 wins on Saturday. What does that mean going into Sunday?
You know, it's just a good feeling for us to go into Sunday with top qualifier and 2 heats. We're a points racing team. We love racing for points. Anytime that we can gain points, that's what we try to do. So the little pieces of the puzzle throughout the season are starting to put themselves together, and we just need to stay on track, and the team's very capable of doing that.
All right, Jimmy Shane, congratulations. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
And let me jump right in here real quick. I have found Mr. Greg Hopp. He's now dry as opposed to being wet a few minutes ago. But tell me what happened up the backstretch. You were leading. Things all looked good, and then not so good.
Yeah, sad but true. You know, we had the DeJulio boat out front, and I think I was pulling away a little bit, and things were all good. And then it kind of started surging a little bit, like it was running out of gas, and I backed up, and then I was just going to finish the race, and then next thing you know, I shut it off because the temp got too hot. And then I radioed into Bob, I said, hey, I'm in lane 2. Let those guys know that they need to go around me. I'm lane 2 drifting to lane 1. And then all of a sudden I looked over and I saw rescue boats coming at full throttle, and I was thinking, well, they don't do this in the middle of a heat. Something's not wrong. And then I looked in the mirror, saw all the flames, and yeah, I jumped out, and boy, it was hot. So I jumped off the front of the boat.
So when you said it was hot, were you feeling hot in the cockpit, or were you reading a temperature gauge?
No, it wasn't hot in the cockpit necessarily. It was just, I could see the flames, and so your instinct is fight or flight, and I picked flight.
So you jumped in to stop the heat, although you said the patrol boats were moving already.
Oh, yeah, I was out.
And
Full swim is actually quite refreshing. The Columbia River is nice and cool.
It usually is this time of year.
Yep. I just feel bad for the DeJulio team, family. I'm hoping we can get it fixed. The boat's not back to the dock yet, but I'm thinking by the look of that ball of flames, probably not.
So, yeah, you didn't have an opportunity to assess any damage getting back on the boat.
No, it was just to get my happy butt off of that boat.
Greg, it's just good to see you standing here. That's the most important part. We can fix the boat. We'll talk to you later on tomorrow.
Thank you. Yep, we'll look.
Greg Hopp, you heard it right there. He hopped in the creek, but it sounded like he saw the patrol boats coming, and so he just shut it off. So,
Well, the two B boats are out on the water on the course now with the U3 and Jimmy King up in lane 1. Here comes Andrew Tate out of turn 2. The 7, the 11, and the 440 also all up on plane. Hit the course. 5 in the books.
And you know, Kevin, you know what I hear? I hear the wind in your microphone picking up.
It has. It really, it's back.
I know, I can hear it. It's definitely changed a little bit here just in the last 5 minutes.
I'll try to monitor that and see if we can get the situation where I'm not.
Oh, no, it's all good. Don't worry, the excitement will drown out any wind that was whistling through your microphone. All right, so Jimmy King is heading up to the top end of the course in the Freedom Equipment Rentals turn number 3 over to Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Rattlesnake Mountain burnout after the fire a couple weeks ago. Cold Creek Blaze in the background. We can see it more clearly now because the smoke and haze has been blown out of here by the winds we've experienced today. Looks like that's Tater coming around the exit pin at turn number 4 at the exit pin and the Delta Reel track. Yeah, it is. Sun's a little bit lower, a little lower angle, shining off the boats. Beautiful colors out on the river. Here comes the bright orange boat across the Bosch Thermador appliance start-finish line. That's Dustin Eccles in the 440. The 7.
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Bert Henderson, Moitano Holmes across the start-finish line down the front stretch, and the outside boat, and will still have to remain outside for at least this heat, is Jamie Nielsen in the 11, Reliable Diamond Tool JD Hydraulics.
I think he'll race wherever he can as long as he can get that boat across the start-finish line when it's been 4 laps.
Well, we have an incursion into the Esco Electric infield, and that will be Bert Henderson heading to the backstretch now.
Hot shot.
Still early.
It will get him a little bit closer up with all the other boats so that maybe he can be on time with them, or he's got a plan.
Coming up on 2 minutes and 15 seconds, guys. 2:15.
And what did you say, Brad? It'd be too early if they're in the entrance pin of
They don't want-
Agri-Service turn number 1 at the buck 30 mark?
Yeah, it's just my unofficial mark. You don't want to be down here at 1:30. You don't want to cross start-finish line at an even 2. You could do the math at 80 miles an hour
Okay.
for 2.5 miles, and you're not going to make it. So I think we're okay. We're at 1:54 right now.
Oh, great. Now it's become a math problem.
You betcha.
I was told there would be no math.
All right, so where are we at right now?
1:45.
Okay, well, here comes
And
Jimmy King.
He's out by himself.
He's doing the same thing.
I think he's going to cut across. Yep.
Yep, there he is.
Same thing he did last time. He ended up running 6 hot laps the last heat.
But he's going
1:30,
to lose lane
1:30.
1 out of it.
So Andrew Tate's holding on to that lane 1 at least for now, coming down the front stretch. Henderson would be in 2. I think Eccles might settle into 3, or yeah, Nielsen's got to be outside, right? Yep. Oh, look at Jimmy King. He's cutting back to the infield.
Well, he's got it. He's
Yep.
got 110. So I like where everybody sits on the course. Now watch Jimmy. If Jimmy wanted to really hurry, this could be fun. Jimmy, I don't think he can do it. He can't do it. The other guys are already off the corner. Jimmy's got to come all the way down, and he does.
Now he's got
Inside 1 minute.
full speed and momentum. The other boats don't.
He is. He's doing exactly like last time.
Exactly.
He may have fixed those timing marks. This may work again for him.
Oh, he's getting up in
Wow.
the air. Oh,
A little bit loose at the exit pin at Tire Factory turn 2, wasn't he?
40 seconds, 40.
Yeah, he's going to catch the field, and he's going to have to slow her down. He's not going to have that same kind of momentum like he did last time.
Tate, Henderson, King, Eccles, and Nielsen will be your running order from inside out.
Nielsen still got to start behind everybody. 5 seconds behind the clock, 20 seconds.
He's way outside, so he'll have to scruff off a little speed coming out of that Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Tate on the inside. Henderson in 2, King in 3.
10 seconds.
Eccles in 4. Nielsen outside at 5. Here they come up the front stretch.
1.
Eccles is going to lead the boats across the start-finish line, but the speed is coming on the inside. Take a look at Andrew Tate.
It was a good start. They ruled it legal. Here we come, 5 wide down here. Piston boat's going to get down here first, but it's Tate sitting in lane 1. Kevin, 5 wide.
And he is tight to the buoy while King has to go way outside to give room for Bert Henderson. So Andrew Tate with a near rooster tail lead as he leaves the exit pit.
Oh, Henderson is getting really slow. He got in some slop down there in turn number 2 and almost came off plane. He's back on it now, but he's behind everybody. It's Tate out in front. And a half a rooster tail lead now over Jimmy King as they come up the back stretch. Tate into the entrance pin for turn number 3. Wall of water off the skid pin. Rattlesnake Mountain in the background. Half a rooster tail lead now over Jimmy King. Bert Henderson fell all the way back, but he is now climbing back into this up the back stretch, ready to overtake Dustin Eccles as they get into turn number 4. Up the front stretch, Jimmy King's on the outside. He's trailing by about 3 boat lengths, but look at Jimmy King put the throttle down. He may catch Tate up the front stretch.
It's a replay of what we saw in there first. Tate's going to get down here first again, but he's got about 3, maybe 3.5 boat lengths on Jimmy King, who doesn't want to let him go, Kevin.
Oh, and Andrew Tate bouncing around as he gets into turn 2, which won't give him as much speed as he exited, but he does have a little bit of gas. And here comes Jimmy King right at his rear view mirror on the right side down the backstretch.
Well, let's see if King can challenge him up the backstretch or if Tate's going to start to pull away.
By the way, Jimmy Nielsen is overtaking 3rd place on the backstretch on the outside.
Yep, Bert Henderson was able to pass Eccles and climb into 4th. And now Henderson is trying to challenge Nielsen for that 3rd position on the race course. Let's go back up to the top end of the course. Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. And a little bit wider turn, forcing King a little bit farther outside. Tate's going to have the lead, but King had a great run up on the top end of the course and has momentum, but Tate's really flying the boat across the Bosch Thermador blind start finish line. He's going to back off maybe a little bit, or King found some extra horsepower. King's hitting it hard down the front stretch, trying to get up with Tate.
Coming down here again, about 3.5 boat lengths. Michael, look up and check the flag. I think you've got the penalty marker flag flying up there.
We do.
Andrew Tate walking the sponsons out of turn 1. Jimmy King right behind him within the rooster tail as they fly down the backstretch. And down right behind that, Bert Henderson and Jamie Nielsen. As much as deck to deck as they can be in 2 very different lanes, battling for 3rd.
So the penalty flag is out. It's the blue flag with the yellow stripe, and we also have the white flag out as the racers come to the top end of the course. Our race leader is Andrew Tate in the Delta Reel Track, the 1. Half a rooster tail back, Jimmy King on the outside. King is just won't go away. That piston-powered boat is really motoring. Jimmy King about 5 boat lengths back as they cross the start-finish line now, coming down the front stretch, and King's going to catch him again, but he's got a longer race course to travel.
Boy, he's got that piston wound up. If he can keep this momentum on a wide lane, he's still 3 boat lengths back.
Oh, boy,
Kevin,
Jamie Nielsen is really flying it.
Andrew Tate gets into the turn first. King right on his heels out of the backstretch. They go Jimmy King, able to put his foot into it and start to catch up to the 1 again.
Yeah, and watch this race for 3rd place back here.
They are right next to each other when I look at them across.
Henderson on the inside, Nielsen on the outside in the 11.
And
that's an incredible race back there.
That's been proving the difference right now as Henderson has the better turns, but Jamie Nielsen has the better straightaway speed. So we'll see what wins out.
Andrew Tate on the inside, able to put a little bit more distance on Jimmy King through the top end corners, and comes off the exit pin of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4 to take the checkered flag in Heat 2B from El Pueblo Market. The Delta Reel Track with Andrew Tate 1st place, Jimmy King, Miss Griggs Ace Hardware 2nd place finish, but we still have a penalty to sort out.
And we remember...
3rd place. Let's go back to Bert Henderson. Always put a little bit of distance in turns 3 and 4 on the DeJulo on J and D. Reliable Tools, and it will be Bert Henderson taking third place, and Jamie Nielsen a fourth place finish. Dustin Eccles coming up the backstretch will finish in fifth place. Go ahead, Kevin.
As I say, you remember down here in turn 2,
Yep.
Bert Henderson was under a whole lot of water. Did somebody encroach?
Yeah, as soon as that happened, and Michael, you said he found some rough water. Kevin and I had a great view. He got really, really wet. And one of the officials turned to me, and all he said was, the drones will tell all.
Well, they're
So,
flying out there.
That may be it. I'll tell you what, and that boat really got his attention because coming down to start the fourth lap, Bert Henderson had that red 7 right in his face. He hung one there. He was at the point of no return and somehow brought it back home. Oh, boy.
Pretty good racing. Excellent effort by the Tri-City Sunrise Rotary. All right, boats are heading out of the pits as we get ready for Heat 3A, presented by Par Lumber. In our lineup, the 1, Delta Reel Track with Andrew Tate. The 6, Miss Home Street with Jimmy Shane. The 7, Boitano Homes, driver Bert Henderson. Jamie Nielsen. In the 11, J&D's presents Reliable Diamond Truhl. And the 99.9, Darrell Strong presents Payne West Insurance with Brian Perkins.
And 4 of those boats have left the dock. There goes the 11. He'll be the last one off the dock. Bert Henderson will be the first one here. Tire Factory turn 2, followed by Jimmy Shane. It looks like maybe the 1 will be behind him with the 99.9 right to his left. And Tom Thompson is still, I don't think, up on plane over in the dock. So
Jamie Nielsen.
Jamie, sorry.
Yeah, he started up on a plane, then it fell back down. He's still got the candle lit. He'll be coming. He's all right. Come on, Jamie.
And I made that first mistake of the weekend. I knew it. I knew it was going to happen.
Maybe he does have a problem. He is turning to the right.
He's heading back.
Boy, we saw this. You've been mentioning Tom Thompson. We saw this with Tom a year ago, if you remember, in one of the prelims.
Let's go to the top end of the course.
Yes.
Into Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Jimmy Shane will be on the inside. Andrew Tate on the outside. As they come onto the front stretch, heading to the Bosch Thermador Appliances start-finish line on our News Radio 610 KONA broadcast. Brian Perkins onto the front stretch. He's way outside. Henderson just at the exit pin of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Boat parade is coming down the front stretch with Shane, Tate, Perkins, and Henderson. Countdown continues to the start of Par Lumber Heat 3A.
And the U11, Jamie Nielsen definitely turning back towards the pit, so he will not be a part of this, it looks like.
3 minutes, Michael.
He's still got some time. If he can get up on plane and maybe get that thing going, he can take another hard
He's got
right.
2 minutes.
Who's going to make the first move across the infield? Andrew
Kevin,
Tate.
look at those 2 guys right in front of you.
Oh, wow. That is a pretty sight. And that's going to be a sight I think we'll see. Those 2 within about a rooster tail of each other for most of this heat. This 1 and this 6. Now, Andrew Tate flying up the backstretch. Maybe he's going to try to get out in front and dump over to lane 1.
Anderson found the rough water in Tire Factory turn 2.
He did, but I think he's also keeping it easy, trying to find where does he want to cross over. If he wants to cross over,
Not yet.
it is
Not yet.
It's not a great time to do it yet, no.
Oh, what's Shane doing?
No, they're all headed to the top end of the course. They're at Freedom Equipment Rental turn number 3.
Shane just about dropped off plane up there. He's way behind. Remember that 2-minute mark?
Andrew Tate did the leapfrog and took lane number 1
did.
away.
Remember that 2-minute mark at the start-finish line? 2 minutes right now.
And Jamie Nielsen is back, I believe, at the dock.
He is back at the dock. The crew is on board.
So a 4-boat Heat 3A from Par Lumber. Tate in lane 1, Shane in lane 2. Perkins is outside in lane number 4, so that could leave Henderson lane number 3 unless Perkins starts to slide over towards Shane. We'll see.
We've had a strobe warning on the home street and on Bert Henderson, and that was
Really?
clearly at the top end of the course when Shane pretty much dropped off plane. It's 1:30, and
They're early.
Tate's down here early. That's my mark right there, and he's there at 1:22.
Look, he's going out wide, too.
But you watch him. Kevin, watch him. He's going to come right back to the inside lane.
He is. Oh, he's not going to give it up because he knows Jimmy Shane will try to take advantage of him. I'm trying to see the strobe light. I don't think that's blinking yet. I can't quite tell off the top of that boat.
It's so hard to
Bert.
see.
There goes Bert. He's coming across.
He's going to cut here, but it's not going to get him lane 1.
No, he was just behind everybody.
He just was behind. It's going to get him lane 3 maybe unless Perkins dumps down, but no, he'll be on the outside of the 1 and the 6.
Yeah. 45 seconds, Michael.
So Tate in the Delta Reel Track right now, exactly across from the Bosch Thermador start-finish line here in lane number 1. Jimmy Shane just crossed that score-up buoy on the backstretch in the home street, the 6.
30 seconds.
Perkins is up with Tate near the entrance pin to Freedom Equipment Rental, turn number 3. Henderson is starting to catch the field now, coming up from behind in that bright red boat, the Boitano Homes entry. Round the top end of the course.
15. About a 9-second run off that buoy.
And they are at exit pin, Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Tate in lane number 1. Shane in lane number 2. Henderson's going to take 3. Perkins in lane number 4.
3, 2, 1, go.
It's a clean start. Perkins has some nice boat speed on the outside. You can see Jimmy Shane picking up speed in lane number 2.
But coming down here on the outside, it's going to be Bert Henderson going to get down here first flying the boat. Got about 2 boat lengths on Jimmy Shane, but Shane's inside of him, and then Tate's in there somewhere, Kevin.
And they're bouncing out of turn 2, and Shane comes up as tight as he can into lane 1 and heads down the backstretch with the lead. Tate on the inside, Henderson on the outside, battling for second.
Tate had a real bumpy ride coming through Agri-Service turn number 1 into Tire Factory turn number 2. Had to back off the throttle. That allowed Jimmy Shane to shot put out in front. Nice run for Jimmy Shane in lane number 2. Now we'll see with smooth water at the top end of the course into Freedom Equipment Rental turn number 3. If Andrew Tate can gain some ground on the inside lane on Jimmy Shane in lane number 2. Henderson's in 3rd, Perkins in 4th. Jimmy Shane holds on to the lead by about a half a rooster tail as they come down the front stretch. Tate's trying to gain on him, but Shane has some straightaway speed. This is a nice, solid race down the front stretch, but it's going to be Jimmy Shane, the race leader, and watch Henderson on the outside. He's got momentum.
Into lap number 2. We've been heard from the officials the start was illegal, so everybody's good. Tate hanging right with him, Kevin.
Absolutely. He has lane 1, but he's bouncing around inside of there off of Shane. And Shane can just punch the throttle down the backstretch, and he's got about a rooster tail and a half lead with Bert Henderson about 2 rooster tails behind the 1.
And Kevin, you mentioned it. The rough water might be inside. Tate's really having trouble getting through that bottom end of the course in lane number 1.
And Shane's pinning him in there, too. That's what we talked about before the start.
Yeah, you could tell. You said 30 feet 1 inch is where Shane's going to be. I'd imagine he's about 30 feet 1 inch.
And I think Tate just went outside.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, if you remember back in Madison, the Tate, he was inside and he just got caught. And coming down to that lane was the Shane right there. So
Shane's going to take, Jimmy Shane in the home street's going to take over lane number 1. Tate in lane number 2. Henderson in lane number 3. The question is, can Henderson now catch Tate? Wow, look at Tate flying it down the front stretch back and forth on the sponsons.
Yeah, he's really got a lot of air underneath that U1 Delta Reel Track. And I'll tell you what, Bert Henderson's got him in his sights. I don't think he can run him down, but he's going to give it a go, Kevin.
They're out lanes 3 and 4. Nobody in lane 1 as Tate flying down the backstretch. Henderson going way out wide. Struggling out there, and so Tate gonna fly the boat down the backstretch. Here comes Perkin on the inside.
Gonna say, keep an eye on Brian. He went to the inside.
Woo-hoo. That boat is barely touching the water at the front.
Jimmy Shane into turn number 3, top end of the course. Just a perfect run in 3A, brought to you by Par Lumber. Bounces a little bit wide at the exit pin of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Tate is just coming around 4 now. He's going to swing it way out wide in the Delta Reel Track, and he's back about 3 rooster tails now as the white flag is out for Jimmy Shane, and Shane backs off the throttle a little bit coming across the start-finish line as he had a lot of air underneath the boat. But there's no way Andrew Tate's going to catch him. It's Jimmy Shane's race to win in Heat 3A from Par Lumber.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, Kevin, keep an eye on our race for 3rd, because they're going to get down here after Tate and Shane, and this first turn is going to be lumpy. Keep an eye on these 2 as Perkins flies the boat at the entrance buoy.
It's bumpy for the 2 that are with nobody around, and look what it's going to be for Perkins on the inside. He's going to take the lead for the 3rd place race heading out of the exit pit. And Henderson going to try to gun it down the outside, down the back stretch. They are deck to deck down the back.
And Perkins with the lead coming up the back stretch for that third place finish. At the top end of the course, it's Jimmy Shane in the home street, the 6, into Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. And he's going to come extremely wide out of the exit pin in lane number 3. That forces Andrew Tate even farther out. He was outside in lane number 5, actually, as he'll take the checkered flag for Par Lumber Heat 3A. Jimmy Shane in the home street. Delta Real Track will take second place across the Bosch Thermador Appliance start-finish line. And it's Brian Perkins holding on to third place down the front stretch. Perkins will take third place in the Payne West Darrell Strong Presents. Fourth place for Bert Henderson, Boitano Homes in 3A from Par Lumber.
What a run by Perkins.
Yeah, I know everybody's talking about Tate and Shane on that one, and for sure, but Brian Perkins just jamming that brand new boat in some really rough water down here in turn 1, and he pulled off a third place finish. Kevin, you had an awesome view of him.
And the 1918 Oberto Super Salami with Jeff Bernard. Tire Factory turn number 2, not a whole lot of wind, and we heard some of the drivers talking about the conditions out there, Kevin.
And Jimmy Sheen almost said it was like too calm with those rolls not really getting out. But we'll be interested to see J. Michael Kelly, who loves, as the 5-minute gun goes, the J. Michael Kelly, who loves lane 1. We saw what happened with Andrew Tate in lane 1. Does he still fight for it? I can't imagine he has any other gear, but will it pay off when he fights for it?
You know, the other thing we heard, and I thought was fascinating, was that Jimmy Shane felt that there wasn't as much current today that was kind of moving the bad water downstream.
Well, we have four boats away from the dock waiting on the 440 as J. Michael Kelly dumps into lane 1. To start us off at Tire Factory turn 2, the 1918 right behind him with Jeff Bernard and the Super Salami. Got the gorgeous paint scheme. And then the 3, there's the 440s away, 98 there. So we got all 5 boats on the course.
Well, I think, Brad Luce, that J. Michael Kelly is set up where he wants to be in the 12 Graham Trucking.
If he's sitting in lane 1, he's where he wants to be. His
Exactly.
problem is my watch says 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So lots going to happen here. And I'm real interested to see how this heat plays out. This one could be a lot of fun. There's a lot of speed out there. Keep your eye on that 1918 and Jeff Bernard.
You know, the other thing we did not see, nobody in 3A from Par Lumber cut across the infield, and now immediately we get 2 boats coming across the ESCO Electric DMZ. And that's going to be Bernard along with King.
Interesting. Well, we know King's start procedure, and he says, I don't want to slow down that big Allison piston motor. He got to keep it about 120 miles an hour, so he's definitely got a different start procedure from the rest of them. But he's going to come down here first with 3 minutes and 20 seconds until the start, and a big cheer goes up here on the sideline as everybody loves the Turbinator. Jimmy King to the entrance pin at 3:10, and over to Kevin.
And he is taking it kind of easy right now. He's not trying to get it as slow down as the 1918 and some of the other boats, but he's still not quite at full bore. 1918 will follow along in lane 1 right behind him, and the 12 cutting across ESCO Electric infield. Not going to be able to get lane 1 out of it, though.
No, his good friend Jeff Bernard said, no, thank you. No, thank you. Those 2 have been teammates. Those 2, if you had $1 for every heat they'd ever run together in every class, you'd be a wealthy individual.
Now, does Jimmy King cut across the infield again in the Turbinator?
I think he's too early. Except the way he does it, who knows?
Yeah, that's true.
It's 2:30 right now.
440 coming off plane and dying right here in front of me in turn 2.
How far did he get off the course, Kevin?
He pushed it out pretty wide.
He did. He tried to get out as wide as he could. And the current might help him slightly keep him out there.
All right, Jimmy's found the gas pedal now as he comes down with 210. Remember our number there, Michael. And he's got his foot in it.
He does. So Jimmy King and the Turbinator across the Bosch Thermador start-finish line.
Getting a little air underneath him, too, coming across the start-finish.
And you've got Oh, cutting across the infield. Yeah, that's a really exciting move. And right into the wake is Corey Peabody.
King's across the infield, too, down here.
Came right up behind Jeff Bernard. And now he's going to slide outside of the Graham Trucking and J. Michael Kelly.
Those are about the closest three friends you could pull together and stick out there in the race course.
But here's Jimmy King cutting across the infield.
Yep.
Yeah, he wants to join the other three, I think.
At a $120, 120. So I like where everybody sits. Bernard's in one.
Now will Jimmy King cut across again?
He might do that.
Let's watch.
Let's watch.
Let's see. It's going to be tight if he does.
He can go now.
He does not.
Not going to do it.
No, he'll just stick himself into lane 3. So the 1918 will be in lane 1. The 12 will be in lane 2. I'd imagine the 3 ends up around lane 3, and the 98 will be out in lane 4. Dustin Eccles, unfortunately, getting a close-up view of the park over here on the Pasco side.
And Kevin, is he well off the course now?
He is well off the course. There is
so we don't
plenty
need
of space.
We don't need to worry about that. Okay.
43 seconds.
Boats are staged on the back stretch. It'll be the Super Salami, the 1918 with Jeff Bernard in lane number 1. Graham Trucking, J. Michael Kelly, the 12 in lane number 2. Jimmy King and the Griggs Presents Miss A's Hardware in lane number 3. And on the outside, Graham Trucking American Dream with Corey Peabody as they get
20 seconds
to the top end of the course into Freedom Equipment Rentals turn number 3 on News Radio 610 KONA and 610KONA.com. Into Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. And they are on the front stretch. Jimmy King
5
in lane number 3 is going to fall back a little bit.
1.
Looks like a clean start, and it's going to be J. Michael Kelly in lane number 2 in the lead. Watch Bernard on the inside, King on the outside. Bernard's falling back in the Oberto a little bit. 2 boats heading into turn number 1 for Agri-Service.
Kelly's going to get down here first with about a 3-boat lead. Keep in mind, guys, the start is under review.
Oh, that will make things interesting. But the King and the U3 on the outside starting to gain some ground on the 12 with J. Michael Kelly. Jeff Bernard in the 1918, a distant third.
Up the backstretch, J. Michael Kelly with the lead by about half a rooster tail. You can see Jimmy King on the outside, not really gaining ground up the backstretch. Nice run by the 1918, the Obordo Super Salami in third place for Jeff Bernard, and Corey Peabody has fallen back in the 98 Graham Trucking American Dream into Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. J. Michael Kelly at the exit pin now. And there comes Jimmy King in the 3, the Terminator. Bernard in the Super Salami has fallen back. A couple of rooster tails now. It's a half a rooster tail lane for JMK in the Graham heading down the front stretch. Jimmy King in the Terminator out on his right hip.
Solid boat ride for JMK, and he's got about half a rooster. We got a 1-minute penalty on J. Michael.
Oh, no.
So this is Jimmy King's race to win if he can hold off the 1918. J. Mike a little bit outside of lane 1, I think, trying to find smoother waters, but the 3 knows he doesn't need to run as hard as he could need to.
Yeah, radio crews have probably told him that it is a 1-minute penalty on the 12 Graham Trucking, J. Michael Kelly.
He jumped the gun.
He was a little bit early at the start. It was extremely close, but the video review showed that he was over early. So J. Michael Kelly on the course is your race leader coming out of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Back about a rooster tail now is the 3 Griggs Presents Miss Ace Hardware with Jimmy King, both coming across the Bosch Thermador appliance start finish line.
Kelly's flying it down here. He knows he's got the penalty, but he's still going to keep his foot in it. These things sometimes get reviewed, and he's packing an awful lot of air into the boat. Kevin, keep an eye on him.
He is walking the spots as he bounces around on a turn 2. Flying on the inside. Not quite tight to the buoy line, but still lane 1. And the 3 coming up behind him, a couple rooster tails behind. 1918 coming out of turn 2 right now, too. He's also on the inside. Everybody's sort of getting in a little bit of a line between about lane 1 or lane 2.
So J. Michael Kelly, a little bit early at the start with a 1-minute penalty now with a 2 rooster tail lead over Jimmy King in the Griggs Presents Miss 8 Hardware coming into Freedom Equipment Rental turn number 3. J. Michael Kelly now at the exit pin of our turn number 4 for Buffalo Brothers. He is the leader on the race course, but he was early at the start.
And it looks like everybody's kind of backed off a little bit on the speed, knowing that their positions are fairly well settled.
And White flag flies as Kelly flies. He's really got a lot of air underneath that race boat. He's still driving it hard. As he's to the entrance, he'll come down. But, Kevin, let's follow our leader, and he's right in front of me right now, the Terminator, living up to its name.
Oh, the 12 bouncing entirely out of the water for a moment. Wonder if J. Michael Kelly going to try to see if he can get a minute ahead of Corey Peabody. See if he can get Corey Peabody to be a minute behind, and then he snags third. But it is Jimmy King flying down the backstretch, our leader.
Yep, he's trying to beat that 1 minute penalty by hitting it hard.
Yeah, I think Peabody doesn't have the same level of speed, so it takes him a little more than a minute to get around this course. So J. Michael Kelly, if he can get to about 3/4 of a lap lead, he might get that minute that he needs to be in front of Peabody.
Let me know when he crosses.
Wow, a lot of compression noise for J. Michael Kelly in the Graham Trucking in the 12 coming across the start-finish line. Oh, the Terminator went off plane. It's going to be Bernard and the Super Salami moving into first place. Oh, what a tough break for Jimmy King in the Griggs Ace Hardware Terminator, the 3 dead in the water. So it's the 1918 with Jeff Bernard claiming the checkered flag. Wow, that is huge. And Corey Peabody is coming up the back stretch.
So he will be second. Here comes J. Michael Kelly coming up on him hard.
Yeah, it's depending on that minute penalty that JMK has to see where we finish on the clock.
40 seconds. Tell me when Corey crosses.
Corey Peabody's at the exit pin at Buffalo Brothers turn number 4, and JMK is going to try to put him a lap down coming up the front stretch. He's running an extra lap.
Tell me when he crosses.
Well, you got J. Michael Kelly crossing again, and now Corey Peabody now.
I got it at 58 seconds. What'd you get?
Oh, my goodness.
We got two of us with 58 seconds.
Oh,
he needed to
2
catch him and
seconds.
get over a minute.
We're going to have to wait till the officials write it up, but what a horrible turn of events for Jimmy King and the piston-powered boat. That was their race to win.
That it really was, and the disappointing for the Terminator. They had that was going to, almost about lock them into the final, and now they're not going to get anything out of this heat, and they're going to be battling with some of the folks down in the 5, 6, 7 range to see if they can stay in that final heat.
Wow, what an amazing turn of events. First week.
Kelly, first one out. He's going to try to claim that inside lane. That's pretty much what you expect from JMK. Oh, the reflection off the red, the metallic red of the Alberto, so gorgeous. With Shane inside him. Now, Andrew Tate swings his way up with Jamie Nielsen and the Chartreuse and Carnival Orange U11. 5 boats in the field, 5 boats up and running.
Nicely done, Kevin, on those colors. I like it.
Carnival Orange, I love it. Hey, a quick message from Carol Dent from the Buffalo Brothers. Carol?
Hey, I just like to give a big shout out to the Water Follies crew, all the volunteers, the radio guys, everybody from Kona, all the safety boats, the boat racers themselves. You guys do a fabulous job. If I've forgotten anybody, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Carol, from the Buffalo Brothers. Up at turn number 4, the best race fans anywhere on the hydroplane racing circuit. And if you have a chance, go meet them up there. All right, coming across the Bosch Thermador appliance start-finish line. Graham Trucking, J. Michael Kelly on the inside. Then you've got Tate in the Delta Reel Track. Shane is coming across start-finish line now. The Alberto with Jeff Bernard. The boat paraded all the way back out of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4 is the 11 with Jamie Nielsen.
3 minutes. There goes Jimmy.
Jimmy is.
There he
Shane cutting
goes.
across.
Oh, I thought Bernard was going to follow in the Alberto, but he didn't.
Nope. So Shane will get over and be in lane 1, which pushes Kelly out to lane 2 for now. And Tate out to lane 3, but lots of milling period left.
240, 240.
Who's going to jump next?
My money's on the 12, but
Yeah, watch Mike now. Remember, don't want to be at start-finish line at 2 or 2:30.
So Jimmy Shane is just about ready to enter Freedom Equipment Rentals turn number 3. And I don't think
Watch Jeff.
J. Michael Kelly's going to turn to the infield. Yep. J. Michael Kelly's going to jump across to the front stretch.
Yep. I think
So-
he's okay time-wise.
Throw the Esco Electric infield to the front stretch, and that will put Jimmy Shane outside in lane number 2, at least for now.
Whoa, whoa!
That's
What
Jeff.
happened with the 1 over there?
Whoa, did he clip the buoy?
They are, wow.
That was, holy smoke. Now, that was Bernard coming
Oh, was
across.
that the 1918?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
Bernard that
It
came
was-
across. He came across behind JMK.
Couldn't see him from our vantage point.
Oh, boy, somebody better stick their ear to the radio on that one. They're down here at 135. You know my mark. You don't want to be here at 130. They're here at 130.
There was a disagreement there about.
Yeah, and Kevin, keep an eye on Jimmy. Well, I thought Jimmy was going to go way, way, way wide and scruff off some time. He may still do that. Watch him, Kevin.
He is, he's slowing down. There he goes, way wide.
Yep.
There, the big wide turn, because he doesn't have any challenge from the inside in Andrew Tate. And he'll be able to come in and be at lane 3 for right now.
5 seconds to the 1.
But boy,
Now, what's Jimmy Shane doing now? He's gone back inside.
he's kind of trailing in behind them.
Mike, during this heat, keep an eye on that buoy that was nudged.
And there goes Shane. Nope, okay, no, it's all right.
45 seconds.
He kind of looked like he might thought about cutting across, but
Then no, that wouldn't work.
Yeah, he can't do that.
Much too early.
Well, you've got to go around every buoy from the entrance pin to the corner. Coming up on 25 seconds.
So the 1918 Oberto Super Salami Jeff Bernard in lane number 1. Graham Trucking, J. Michael Kelly, the 12 and 2. As they come up into Buffalo Brothers turn number 4.
10 seconds.
Jimmy Shane in lane number 3 is hanging back a little bit. Lane number 4 is going to be Andrew Tate,
5,
and lane number 5 will be the 11 with Jamie
3,
Nielsen.
2, 1.
White flag is out, and it's a clean start. It's going to be J. Michael Kelly leading, but the boat speed's on the outside with Shane and Andrew Tate.
Look at this 4-boat run to the corner, and there's a couple of them really flying, but it's a 12, and JMK is going to get down here first, but he's got speed on the inside with Bernard.
oh, but Kelly will be first out of the exit pin. He's got Shane to his outside, Tate beyond that. So it'll be the 12 that leads him down the backstretch, but Shane right on his right hip going down there.
You can see the blue cowling right behind the bright red Graham Trucking cowling coming up the backstretch. It is a dead heat. Falling back a little bit, Andrew Tate is in 3rd place. J. Michael Kelly on the inside. On the outside, it's Jimmy Shane, and they are deck to deck heading into Freedom Equipment Rentals turn number 3. Coming out of the exit pin of turn number 4 for Buffalo Brothers, J. Michael Kelly's going to have the lead by about 3 boat lengths as they come on the front stretch. And now watch Jimmy Shane put the pedal down, but J. Michael Kelly's holding him off as they cross the start-finish line. A lot of air underneath JMK in the Graham Trucking 12.
Man, he is flying in the boat. There's a lot of air into that 12, and when they get down here to the entrance pin, it is dead even.
Oh, he is flying. That front of that boat is coming up really high off the water, but it will be Kelly first out of the turn, but Shane going to take the lead, I think, with a little bit more boat speed down the straightaway. Tate in 3rd, the 1918 running 4th.
J. Michael Kelly is not giving up on the inside, even though Jimmy Shane's right outside it, just pulling ahead as they come up the back stretch, getting ready to dive into Freedom Equipment Rentals turn number 3. An amazing race. J. Michael Kelly on the inside, Jimmy Shane on the outside in the home street. Shorter course around, and it should be a little bit of a lead. Now, J. Michael Kelly falls back a little bit in Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Jimmy Shane holds on to the lead as they come down the front stretch to the Bosch Thermador Appliance start-finish line. It's Jimmy Shane by 3 boat lengths at the start-finish line coming down the front stretch. Tate is in 3rd. Bernard is in 4th. Nielsen in 5th.
Wow, are these guys really moving? You're going to get a great look at them, Kevin. You got a better view than I.
Boy, Kelly fighting his way on the inside, and the shorter course going to help him. But Jimmy Shane, so much speed in that turn. He's going to fly down the backstretch with about a 3 or 4 boat length lead. Tate maybe backed off a little bit, going to let these two fight it out for first.
J. Michael Kelly got a little bit loose as he was coming up the backstretch, had to back off a little bit. He had a beautiful turn in Tire Factory turn number 2, and he's lost a little boat speed on that backstretch, and Jimmy Shane's extended the lead to a few boat lengths as they come up into turn number 3. big hop for Jimmy Shane on the outside in lane number 2 in the home street as they come at the exit pin. Buffalo Brothers turn number 4 back onto the front stretch. Jimmy Shane is leading by 4 boat lengths as we get to the start-finish line now. The white flag is out for Heat 4A for Trust Company. Jimmy Shane is leading by 5 boat lengths heading down the front stretch.
Now, once again, I'm going to give it to you, Kevin, because you can see Kelly on the inside.
I can, and he is just right now not quite the speed that the 6 has. And so Jimmy Shane going to extend his lead to almost a full rooster tail down the backstretch. JMK right behind.
And JMK sloughed off a lot of speed in Agri-Service turn number 1 into Tire Factory turn number 2 and had no way to keep up with Jimmy Shane and the massive boat speed that he had in lane number 2. A little bit fresher water on the outside. Coming into the final turns, checkered flag is out. Jimmy Shane in the 6th, the home street on the outside with the lead by a full rooster tail coming out of the exit pin of turn number 4 onto the front stretch. J. Michael Kelly swings out a little bit wide at the exit pin and almost got into the slop of Jimmy Shane, but was able to hold that lane just in time before he hit the wake. So the checkered flag out for Jimmy Shane in the 6th, Miss Home Street. Another heat victory in what has been a perfect run so far at Water Follies Hapo Columbia Cup. Second place for J. Michael Kelly in the 12 Graham Trucking. Delta Real Track with Andrew Tate. Did not really provide any kind of resistance in that heat. Ends up in 3rd. 4th place for Jeff Bernard in the Oberto. And we don't have any flags out for any type of review here. And I haven't heard anything from any of the officials, Brad, about any possible situation in the race before the race.
No, and I have an official up there with me, and they said there was some conversation about it, but no call has been made or anything said. But that is as hard as anybody has pushed Jimmy Shane. But I'll tell you what, Michael Kelly had to really fly the 12 to run with. There was so much air under that hydroplane. We're going to go down and talk to some exhausted drivers in just a moment.
Jamie Nielsen, who just finished with a GP victory, ends up in 5th place in the 11 J&D's presents Reliable Diamond Tool. So lane position on the inside for J. Michael Kelly. Along with CIA Krigler Insurance. Rich Krigler, former farmer's agent, now Krigler CIA Insurance in Richland. He'd like to have his old clients check rates with him now, probably save you a great deal of money. Wallowa County Chamber and the Wallowa Lake Tramway is waiting for you in Oregon's most rugged outdoor area, Northeast Oregon. Awesome fishing, ride the tramway to the Summit Grill on Mount Howard. Plan your trip at WallowaCountyChamber.com. Let's go down to the Neil F. Lamson pits. Heat 4B from Trust Company.
4 minutes and 30 seconds to Heat 4B. Last chance for points. Kevin? 1, 2, 3, right in front of you.
They are all right in front of me, and the really interesting thing about this particular heat is that right now you could literally almost throw a blanket over all 3 of these in the points standings as we sit right now. In 5th place is Bert Henderson. He's got 619 points. Just 35 points behind him is the 98 in the Graham Trucking with Corey Peabody. And just 21 points behind him is the 99.9 in the Brian Perkins.
Well, just imagine if we get all 3 to finish, they're going to have a boatload of points.
So what's going to end up happening here is that the winner of this race and the second place finisher of this race will be on to the final in the front row. The 3rd place boat in this race will be your trailer. So that is where we sit as we get ready for Heat 3 or Heat 4B.
Awesome job. Points recap brought to you by Perfection Miller Paint. Just off Steptoe in Kennewick. Perfection Miller Paint. All right, so across the start-finish line is the 98 Graham Trucking American Dream with Corey Peabody. Coming out of the exit pin of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. You got Perkins, and then just about to the Bosch Thermador Appliance start-finish line is Bert Henderson in the 7 Boitano Homes. A reminder for all swimmers both sides of the river, we need you out of the water and on the shore. All swimmers need to be out of the water and on the shore. Let's go over to Tire Factory turn number 2. Kevin, you've got a couple of boats coming to you, but they're going to cut across the Esco Electric infield. Are both of them coming? Yes, they are.
They are indeed. The 7 with the Boitano Homes and Bert Henderson, followed closely by the 99.9 Brian Perkins. Both trying to, I think, claim lane 1.
Well, look at Esco Electric Infield. Also an incursion by the 98. Corey Peabody came backstretch to front stretch.
Yeah, he did the front stretch to back stretch cut too last time. So they are, they know what's at stake at this particular heat. And none of them want to be the trailer boat. So they are all going to be, this is going to be all out high intensity racing.
2 minutes and 10 seconds, guys. 2:10.
And there goes the 98 again.
Oh, Perkins is coming across through the Esco Electric Infield.
I think you'll see the 98 cut one more time on that other end down there, trying to get a little more in line with the other two boats.
I think he's just liking the 1 3/4 course better.
He just wants to run GP courses, the 5-liter and GP courses.
Boy, they got to watch some strobe lights here.
You're right, Brad. You know, Henderson is moving pretty slow. Perkins is looking even slower coming down the front stretch.
Well, when he cut across, he was pretty darn close to you at 2 minutes, and that's unofficial. It's just something I use. And, well, it's 1:30 now, and he's still got another couple hundred yards. So maybe they're okay. He's going to get to the entrance pin of this quarter in lane 1 at 1:23.
Oh, Henderson's cutting.
There goes that. Oh, boy. Now, what's that going to do to him? Going to have to watch his blinker when we head up the backstretch. Kevin, they're right in front of you.
They are. Henderson will be able to take lane 1, but how does he scrub off speed if he's early?
That's really slow. The red boat's really slow.
Well, Kevin gave us the points here, and clearly first and second place is worth fighting for.
Yeah, there is barely a rooster tail coming off of that 7 down the backstretch.
But you can't afford a penalty either, Brad.
No, you can't, and I don't have my official radio up here.
All right, so...
Yes, I do. Yes, I do, and we have not
do?
heard of a strobe warning.
Good.
40 seconds, 40 seconds.
And you mentioned that because there's a GPS tracker on board. If they go below 80, the strobe light goes off, and drivers are notified to pick it back up. They get one warning.
They've been told all to pick it up.
Well,
I guess if they all get a 1-minute penalty,
that's levels
good
everything
point,
out,
Brian.
doesn't it?
Good, Brian.
Just becomes a 5-lap heat. 20 seconds.
Henderson, the 7 on the inside. Perkins is in lane number 2 in the 99.9, and then on the outside you'll have the 98 Graham Trucking
10
with Corey Peabody. They're just at the exit pin of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Onto the front stretch to the Bosch Thermador appliance start finish line.
2,
Deck to deck to deck.
1. Mark.
It is a clean start, and it's going to be Perkins leading, challenging him outside. Peabody in the 98.
Peabody's coming down here with quite a bit of speed, but he's now starting to give a little bit of ground. We're going to be dead even at the entrance pin. Henderson in 1, Perkins in 2.
But Henderson has the short course and a little bit of smooth water for it now at turn number 2. And he's able to take the lead as they fly down the backstretch, but Perkins starting to gain on him as he gets right on the right hip of the 7.
Yeah, Peabody's fading back about a rooster tail behind the leaders right now, and it's Perkins behind by about a boat length coming up the backstretch. Henderson into Agri-Service turn 1 and Tire Factory turn number 2 had perfect water, Kevin, just like you mentioned. It was really nice water for him to get around smoothly. Into turn number 3, Freedom Equipment Rentals, and now to Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Henderson in the 7 on the inside has the lead, and he's pushing out into lane number 2. He came out a little bit wide, forcing Perkins out even wider. Perkins is back about 5 boat lengths as they come up to the start-finish line. So Henderson with the lead. Perkins is trying to gain on him, and he is kind of reeling him in coming down the front stretch. Perkins with a beautiful run into Agri-Service turn number 1.
Yeah, and Perkins has got a lot of air in it. Brand new hydroplane. He lifted it up a little bit higher than he wanted to. He's back about 5 boat lengths, Kevin.
But Henderson again with the short course, and he's going to take every foot of that 30, and Perkins gets washed down a little bit, has to back off, and now it's about a rooster tail lead for the 7. I'll be interested to see if there's any kind of lane violations. That was close.
You know, we saw that at the top end of the course as Henderson was moving out a little bit wide, sliding out a little bit wide. Green flag remains out on the course, and Henderson into turn number 3, Freedom Equipment Rentals, over to Buffalo Brothers turn number 4 with a half rooster tail lead. And he's on the inside, and he's going to be hugging the buoy line a little bit closer this time at the exit pin of turn number 4 onto the front stretch. Now we'll see if Perkins can start to eat away at Henderson's lead in the 7, Boitano Homes. Across the start finish line now, and Perkins across now. Perkins is trying, and he's gaining a little bit of ground, but he's going to have a tough time with the inside lane. And the 7 with Boitano Holmes and Bert Henderson in that lane number 1.
Yeah, he's got pretty much a rooster tail coming to you, Kevin.
He does, and we heard Jimmy Shane talk in the last heat about using the rooster tail as a way to deter the vehicles or the boats behind you. I think Henderson has been trying to use that tool. That's now about a rooster tail and a half lead as they go down the backstretch. Here comes the 98 around. Now he's still battling, hoping there's a mistake somewhere in front of him.
Fastest lap so far is lap number 2 for Henderson in the 7, 144.736 miles per hour, and he's got that inside lane, and he is pulled away by a rooster tail and about a quarter as they come into Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Henderson at the exit pin, and now Perkins comes to the exit pin. It'll come down the front stretch with a white flag out in Heat 4B, brought to you by Trust Company here at Water Follies Apo Columbia Cup. One more lap to go for Bert Henderson in the 7, and he was packing some air underneath that boat.
Yeah, he really is. They both are. They've been flying both of them pretty high. I think Brian Perkins understands Kevin's math over there, that a second place finish, the way they've got it calculated, will put him on the front row of the final. Let Bert go. Let's fight this thing later on this afternoon. Kevin, right to you.
Yeah, Bert was beautiful through that turn, too. The water a little bit rough for Perkins. Not quite as smooth, but boy, what a great turn. And it's going to be Henderson's race to lose. With Perkins up the backstretch, the 98, Corey Peabody now.
Well, Kevin, you mentioned that. We've seen, well, for example, the 3, final turn, final lap, have a problem and go dead in the water. So at the top end of the course into Freedom Equipment Rentals, turn number 3, wall of water off the skid pin. Here comes Bert Henderson in the Boitano Home 7 to the exit pin of Buffalo Brothers, turn number 4, and he'll come down the front stretch for the checkered flag, Heat 4B from Trust Company. Checkered flags out for Bert Henderson, and the 7 gets 400 big points with that victory across the Bosch Thermador Appliance start-finish line on News Radio 610 KONA at 610KONA.com. Perkins backs off the throttle, and he'll bring it in for a second-place finish. And third place for Corey Peabody in the 98 Graham Trucking American Dream. So the inside lane, a little bit of smoother water in the first couple of laps for Bert Henderson proved to be the difference, but Perkins did not give up through those 2.5 laps, did he?
No, he really didn't.
Fighting it.
And I think he probably just got the message. All right, we ran with him. I wanted to see if I could catch him again. And let him go, pick up his second place. Big 300 points.
And looking at the speeds, and the top speed again, it was actually lap number 3 for the 7 at Bert Henderson, just over 142 miles per hour. Water conditions couldn't be much better with the wind laying down, Kevin Rounce, entire factory turn number 2.
It really has. It is much calmer. A little bit of chop of the water, not a lot, and just a little breeze. And it is a gorgeous day. We have got a wild and fun afternoon ahead of us. And this weather is, this is about, in my 6 years of coming to the Columbia Cup on the river here, this is about as good a weather as I think I've ever seen for a Sunday.
Well, we haven't hit 90 yet. Looking for a high of about 91 degrees this afternoon, but we haven't been able to get that.
Mark, 5 minutes from the start, and I say it every year, it's the same thing, but you got to see it to believe it. All this color is going to come away from the dock. JMK is going to come first, then it is going to be Bert Henderson. Down at the far end, the next boat is going to be Brian Perkins. Then it is Jimmy Shane. They're kind of coming out a couple at a time here, so not as a group. And interesting as we've seen it before, guess who's just sitting at the dock?
Andrew Tate.
That would be the Tater. He's just sitting at the dock. He hasn't even tried to fire it up. Seen it many, many times before. Let everybody go out and start fighting for things. Kevin, gotta look good. A lot of color right now.
Oh, it is gorgeous. The 2 red boats have gone by. Now we get the Home Street Blue boat. Plus the red, white, blue, Graham Trucking American Dream, followed by the 99.9 Perkins, who's having to try to maneuver his way through some wake. And then the green, white, and red Oberto is now getting up to tire factory turn 2. Still looking at Andrew Tate. at the dock.
And Brad, we should touch on the success of the new home street hull that debuted here a year ago just for testing. That's just kind of run roughshod through the H1 fleet ever since it came out on the Columbia River. Just to test.
And
Here comes Andrew.
Tate is up and on plane.
And again, just like he did last year, he just comes right up the dock row and hasn't even turned right. Now he does to come over and say hello to Kevin.
He is taking a hard right to get up right on the buoy line.
He sure is, as everybody else is coming down behind him at 3 minutes and 15 seconds to the start.
JMK in 1, Shane in 2, at least for now. Bert Henderson's on the outside as they head to Agri-Service turn number 1.
The interesting thing will now be about what is the timing. Tate has to get his timing now.
Cutting across the ESCO Electric infield.
Yep, that'll be Jeff Bernard coming across the infield.
In the bright Oberto Super Salami, the 1918 to the front stretch. Meanwhile, Andrew Tate is on a slow trip down the back stretch.
And let's see who, if anybody, cuts across from back to front.
240.
It's a bit early to do that, but
you could do a double cut.
You could try to, well, then you really get, I think, behind the A-ball if you do the double cut.
Well, and if you do a double cut, you pretty much have to do a triple cut because you'd have to go, no, seriously, you'd have to come to the front, then you'd have to go back to the backstretch, and then you don't have time to go all the way around, you'd have to do it again.
Yeah.
So 220.
Well, it's going to be Jeff Bernard that's going to cut across.
Watch that 2-minute mark at the start-finish line, 2:15.
And J. Michael Kelly's going to follow. They have jumped through the ESCO Electric infield.
All right, so it's what is your mark, Brad, down to turn 130?
You don't want to be down here at 130. And it's 2:04 right now.
Bernard in 1,
2 minutes.
J. Michael Kelly in 2, Tate in 3. Where's that going to leave Shane and the rest of the group? They're just coming out of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4.
Didn't we talk about Shane? Brad said, Shane, if they want to have a shot at him, get him out to lane 4.
Oh, look at this maneuver coming down the front straightaway. Who is that? The third boat coming down. Is that Tate?
It's Tate.
Yeah, that's Tate. He just made a great big S-curve right in the middle to scruff off some time because they are just about to this buoy at 135.
Yep, he did it on the backstretch too when there was nobody around him. So right now,
130 right now, they hit the buoy.
You've got Bernard to the inside, Kelly next to him on lane 2.
Watch their speed.
The one and Tate in lane 3. Will anybody cut across?
Nope. They're all coming down.
They're all the way down.
So it looks like the first 3 lanes have been claimed.
Yeah, look at how slow they're going,
I'm
though.
not seeing
Watch
any
the speed warnings.
Strobe lights. I'm trying to keep an eye on that.
4, 3.
And look at Andrew Tate's going back and forth like a NASCAR driver warming up his tires.
He's just trying to scrub off time.
He is.
We got a couple of two pairs of boats coming up after them with looks like the 99.9 with Brian Perkins. I see Bert Henderson there.
Yeah, Shane's going to settle in lane number 4 outside of Tate. Tate's still doing that S-curve out there back and forth, trying to save itself some time and keep up to speed. Perkins outside of Shane, then you got Henderson. Inside, Jeff Bernard, the Super Salami, has lane number 1. We haven't heard any radio chatter about any possible speed problems, at least for now. It's the Hapo Columbia Cup finale, and our special thanks to our title coverage from Farmers Exchange on News Radio 610 KONA and 610KONA.com. 10 seconds. They come off turn number 4, Buffalo Brothers. On the inside, Bernard. Then you've got J. Michael Kelly, Andrew Tate, Jimmy Shane, Perkins, and Henderson. And on the inside, it's going to be J. Michael Kelly with the lead coming down the front stretch. Henderson with boat speed on the outside.
Look at 5 boats, start 6 boats. They're coming 6 wide to the corner. First one down here is JMK.
And he is flying that boat around the turn. Jimmy Shane is way outside. Now he's in the tail of Andrew Tate, and he is way off base. It is down the backstretch. Jimmy Shane, boy, he's going to have to reel them in now. He is way back.
Well, he's got 5 laps to do it, Kevin. J. Michael Kelly way out in front now, but you can see Andrew Tate trying to catch him on the outside, inside the rooster tail, just outside of him, as they come around to turn number 3. Rattlesnake Mountain in the backdrop as they get to Buffalo Brothers turn number 4 to the exit pin. J. Michael Kelly in lane number 2 has the lead. It's Andrew Tate outside him on the right side in second place, and Bernard in the Oberto Super Salami in third place as they come across the Bosch Thermador appliance start-finish line after lap number 1. Down the front stretch, it's J. Michael Kelly with the lead. Tate challenging. Look at Tate fly that move down the front stretch.
All right, this feels almost illegal to know, but our windows were so old and just desperately needed to be replaced. So I called a few contractors, but they all quoted me a hefty $10,000 or more for new windows.
He's back about 4 boat lengths, but that's going to be the race. Out front, Kevin.
Boy, Kelly is bouncing up the water in the turns. Tate a little smoother, and he is now within a half a rooster tail of that 12, flying down the backstretch, walking the sponsons. As Bert Henderson trying to catch up on Bernard for third. Jimmy Shane currently in 5th.
Yeah, Shane is in 5th. He's trying to make his way through the pack, but he's got traffic in front of him. Up to the race leaders. We'll watch Andrew Tate as they get into number 3, turn 3. Freedom Equipment Rentals. It's J. Michael Kelly on the inside, and the Graham Trucking, the 12, with the lead as they come around to the exit pin of turn number 4. Tate has fallen off the pace a little bit around the top end of the course. Jeff Bernard still maintains that 3rd position. He's just coming out of the exit pin now. Bert Henderson in 4th, and then you've got Jimmy Shane in 5th place. Tate is trying to challenge coming down the front stretch, but J. Michael Kelly's on the inside as they get to Agri-Service turn number 1.
This is unbelievable boat racing. These guys are flying. It is Kelly, and then it is Tate, and it's about 2 boat lengths between them.
Kelly has moved out, I think, to the edge of lane 1 or maybe lane 2. He is flying about a 3/4 of a rooster tail lead, trying to walk those sponsons and keep that boat light as his Tate.
Watch Shane, he just went to the inside.
Ooh, Shane just cut to the inside, so maybe he can get around Bernard in the Super Salami.
He is just, I think he's just dealing with some really bad water right now with the 4 boats in front of him. But at least he's on the inside now. He's got the short course.
He has a chance to take over 3rd place coming up the back stretch, up to the top end of the course, the west end. And at the exit pin of turn number 4, it's going to be J. Michael Kelly still with a half rooster tail lead. Andrew Tate tries to reel him in as they come across the start-finish line now and down the front stretch. I don't know that Tate's going to be able to catch him. He gives him a run down the straightaway, but then J. Michael Kelly pulls away through the turn.
Kelly is down here now, and you are right, Michael McDonald. He has opened up water. He's got about 7 boat lengths coming to you.
And he's taking it out wide to force Tate even farther around the course as they get up to the backstretch, and he's now got a rooster tail lead as they head up on the Pasco side. Tate flying the boat well out of the water as they try to get some speed.
Now we've got a race for 3rd place, and it's Henderson.
Henderson on the outside with the Oberto and Bernard on the inside. Shane back into the middle between those two. And it's the Oberto with the lead going up the backstretch. Shane, I think he's just in that tunnel. He can't do anything right now to get past these two.
He's hit more rough water in that turn number 2, Tire Factory turn number 2, and had to back off the throttle up to the top end of the course. And I don't think Tate's going to be able to catch J. Michael Kelly. The white flag is out for the Hapo Columbia Cup. He's walking it back and forth. It's the 12, Graham Trucking, coming down the front stretch with J. Michael Kelly. Can Tate give him a run on the final lap? We'll find out as they head into Agri-Service turn number 1.
This is it. This is the final time around. Can Kelly hold him off one more time? Kevin, he's got him by almost a full rooster tail. Bring our leader around.
And he is wide out there around lane 2, flying the boat. Tate trying with everything he's got, but he's being forced out too far. And now Kelly flying down the backstretch. Tate a full rooster tail behind.
Almost a rooster tail and a half. Tate's trying to climb back into it, but he has run out of real estate. Watch that run for 3rd place down at the bottom end of the course with the Oberto on the inside, Henderson on the outside.
Shane has moved to the inside to try to get some short distance, but it's Bernard right now, but Henderson flying up the back. Looks like he's gaining a little bit. He's within about a half a rooster tail, if not less, for 3rd.
Checkered flag is out for our race leader, J. Michael Kelly, the 12, Graham Trucking, coming across Bosch Thermador appliance start-finish line now to take the Hapo Columbia Cup. Andrew Tate in the 1, Delta Real Track takes 2nd place. The battle for 3rd continues with Jimmy Shane with the inside lane. We've got 3 boats at the top end of the course. Jimmy Shane's on the inside. Bernard is in lane number 2. Henderson's outside, and it's going to be Jimmy Shane out of nowhere to take 3rd place. Bernard will come in 4th, Henderson in 5th. What a finish for Jimmy Shane on that final lap to gain the ground on the inside lane and claim 3rd place. That's a bit of driving out there, and that was not easy water to run in. J. Michael Kelly able to come down that front stretch on lap number 1 as we started the race in lap number 1. And in lane number 2, he was able to get around Bernard in the Oberto, and he had clear sailing from then on out. Perkins across the start-finish line, and also Corey Peabody in the 98 Graham Trucking across the start-finish line. So everybody gets points, everybody started, everybody finished, and that was one heck of a final race for the Hapo Columbia Cup. A1 pit reporters, they've got a job to do as we hear from our winners and everybody that was battling for the big trophy after a great weekend of racing. Special thanks to A1 Refrigeration. Since 1980, A1 is a 100% satisfaction guarantee effort. That's what they do. Maybe hot outside, but it doesn't have to be inside. A1, your comfort specialist. Also, thanks at our start-finish line on News Radio 610 KONA from Bosch Thermador Appliances. Pick any 2 qualifying Thermador appliances. The Thermador dishwasher free. 2 completely redesigned collections with Thermador appliances.
And if you think about it, Michael, we talked about what would be needed to beat Jimmy Shane, and they sort of got it to work. They got him out to lane 4, and I think he just got caught in water at that point. But boy, if you would have thought Jimmy Shane going into the final lap of the Columbia Cup was in 5th, having a battle for 3rd, I don't think anybody would have put money on that.
I honestly didn't think that he was going to get into a position where he would challenge for 3rd. And you know, the other part of that equation, still, to me, the 3 boats that were the breakaway boats that claimed lanes 1, 2, and 3 seemed awfully slow. We can't see the strobes from here, but obviously they get that information upstairs. There were no review flags that came out at all, and nor did Brad.